Well, well, well. If you're lucky enough to be watching this, you've stumbled upon the San Francisco Open final round chase card coverage brought to you by Parsave Productions. My name is AJ Risley. I've got Nate Perkins in the booth with me. And Nate, we've got a star-studded chase card here, don't we?
Again, dude, we've got Paul McBeth,
Ridiculous.
Seppo, Paju, James Conrad, Kevin Jones.
Oh, man.
I am once again so stoked to be sitting here next to you, AJ, watching this coverage right now.
For real.
Parsave has
awesome.
done a great job on this tournament. They've got the coverage dialed. Next day coverage coming at you. Hole 1, 668.
Par 4. Our players are going to be contending with some out of bounds on the left side and the right side. That bush line really comes into play if you're trying to cut off the corner. It can creep up on you real quick.
I really love when a course has these turf tee pads with not much to run up on, because it gives players like James a chance to do that right there.
And James Conrad.
Wow, just unleashing.
The perfect flex shot. Wow. That was humongous.
Massive. All of 500 feet, guys. But yeah, you know what I mean? The turf tee pads and the ability to, that it doesn't limit the creativity of the player.
Sure.
It allows them to run up and put everything that they have into their throw. Wow, Seppo's got
Seppo
this
does
so
just that.
high.
He got that thing way up there. That was his seasoned D2. He might have gotten that a little too high, maybe the nose up, because I know he can throw farther than that.
Yeah, I mean, he can make it to the pin if he gets it's a good one. And
Here's Paul McBeth.
McBeth lining up something really high as well.
Oh, he's going for it.
Oh, no, he doesn't get it turned over. Is that? Okay.
Oh, interesting.
It kind of looked like it was hyzering out left, but
Yeah.
then it just kind of fell out of the sky.
I wonder if the wind kind of did something to that, too. Once it started to fall, it just pushed it down. Let's see what Kevin Jones has for us. Oof.
That one's turning nicely.
Needs to come back left or get around that whole corner. Oh, it
Oh,
gets
and it does.
way over the OB.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
And he did cut that corner. I didn't see where that finished, but that was massive.
Paul McBeth with the zone. Looking good. Past the tree in the circle.
Wow.
That was a great upshot.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that from that distance.
And Seppo's going to try to match him here with an A2.
Ooh.
A little bit of strange wind action
Yeah,
there, man, and he just bombed it again.
Yeah, it got a little squirrely. You notice the difference in their approaches. Seppo started his on like a much stronger ante, and it exposed that wing.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
James
is going to
in
jump putt.
Jump putt range. Oh, no.
Oh, and the wind kind of picks it up, too.
Yeah.
And KJ is...
Looks like he's just outside circle 2.
He's also going to jump putt from a little bit more reasonable distance.
That's unreal. If I saw that, there's no way I would expect that to be a drive. And he's giving it a bid.
Wow. Jump putts it over the basket for eagle. Long comeback for
How many twos did we
Seppo's
have?
birdie.
Did we have any twos on this hole?
Oh, I
this
I
weekend?
witnessed a 2 right in front of my face.
Wow. Was that a throw-in?
The first round, yeah. It was a throw-in
Okay.
from Anthony Perea from like, I don't know, 270 feet.
And that hurts right there for James to have that far of a drive to where he's in jump putt range and to not get up and down for the birdie 3.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was golden opportunity off the tee.
Oh.
Great birdie by Kev.
There's
Gave
that
himself a little
spin
bit of a
putt.
tester
yeah,
there.
Yeah, he opted for the spinner.
Right, the stagger spin, as we were calling it yesterday.
It's a good name.
I like it.
Naming
Felt good.
putts gets a little tricky, you know?
Sure, yeah.
They've just given us the 2.
The spin and the push.
Yeah, it's like, come on. Are there only 2 types? There's so
Not
many
anymore.
types. There's so many types. We're gonna coin a few new types for you guys. We got
Ooh, McBeth with the spin putt. Dang it! I don't know.
He's got that
birdie either
He's
way.
got that like kind of like hyzer like basketball stroke almost.
You're right, yeah.
Like
McBeth
nice
with the
art
free throw
to it.
from 35.
With the free throw. The free throw. That's exactly right, AJ.
Yeah. And there we go. Paul McBeth with the birdie. Kevin Jones with the birdie. Good start. That's what you want. Moving into hole 2, 370 feet. All that green area on the right side of your screen is out of bounds. There's a wall there in the middle. You got to be left of that, up on this little slope. Basket's elevated. Green's kind of elevated too. There's going to be a strong tailwind, a little bit of a right to left almost. So we'll see. We'll see what our players do. If they swing it out too wide, the tailwind could just drop them straight down.
Yeah,
So
that's the real danger on the hole for
Yeah.
sure. It's just leaving this one out wide, and it's basically a re-tee if you swing it too wide.
Yes.
And the more you push that tree on the right, the closer you can get to the pin. Otherwise, you are leaving yourself that 30-foot crosswind putt right there that Paul has.
Base almost a death putt too, because the ground just drops away right past the basket.
Oh, and you see that one just getting pushed down, and they tend to not get a great reaction off that hillside right there.
You got a little bit of forward slide, so Kevin might have a long uphill look.
Yeah,
at it.
he said tailwind putt, it'll be all right. So
Yeah, that's
he's
true.
thinking make for sure.
James MD4.
MD4, he's so sick.
He just
No one,
rips
I
it.
repeat, no one else is throwing mid-range here, and that looks perfect.
well, gotta disagree with you real quick.
he's
I think
deep.
Kevin threw M2 or M3.
Okay, so I'm literally
Two
wrong
guys.
because the person right in front of James.
Only two, but only two guys. Pretty sure they're the only two.
That is
So no worries.
really sweet, though, to be able to attack this pin with the mid-range.
And it might be a smart play too. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he went deep. James went deep with that MD4.
Of course.
So
Kevin
here's-
from like 40.
Yeah, and we've got to note that this hillside right here, the grass is kind of dead, and the footing is slick.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you had a putt from right there, but the footing is slick, and especially for this straddle kind of jump putt that Kevin's going to line up. Yeah, you see he didn't really have any traction right there.
Yeah, that was tough.
Didn't get enough.
Seppo.
Worst possible.
Oh, hopefully
Did
that
it
sat
roll?
down. Yeah.
No
way.
way.
It just
Okay.
rolled right down the walking path and around the walls.
Oh no, and he just chooses to lay that one up. That's
A little damage control, perhaps.
such a crazy way to five.
It is, and that was a great two by James. Deep with the mid-range, staring back into the headwind from like 22.
Oh,
Oh, and he misses a free
just
throw.
lifted on that free throw.
Kevin going back to the stagger spin.
Oh no.
And yeah, we could tell
good
that one right out of his hand.
Flag, yeah. And why did it seem like that one lifted so much? Nose, that nose angle, or he just aimed too high?
I think that those two factors and the fact that he was going back into the headwind.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that just kind of.
So if you get that nose too high early, that wind is just gonna lift it.
just lifts it right out of your hand. James with the solo bird. Sure enough, yeah. And he's gonna hop. Kevin and Seppo. Going into hole 3, we're still playing into a tailwind here. It's 441. Basket's off to the right side a little bit, and there is an OB line all along the right side of the fairway. So basically, if you're in the rough, you're out of bounds. A little bit downhill. Nate, what do you do on this hole? I think I already know.
AJ, I went 3 for 3 on
Yeah, I bet
hole
you did.
3.
You better have. That's a sidearm hole all day.
And James is going to show us how to play it if you don't have the sidearm. And he's going with that MD4 again. This hole is 440 feet. He's going to start this thing out wide, a little bit of angle.
Oh, and he's just punching
This
it
looks
on the hand.
amazing. It needs to get down even.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He's just throwing lines that no one else is really thinking about throwing.
He just, I think it's because he kind of turns the dial up all the way to 9 or 10 and just goes from there. Not many players really do that.
Yeah,
there's time, especially on a hole like this with the backhand.
Wow.
But with the forehand,
that looks so smooth. I just can't get over how much distance he's getting with what appears to be so little effort. That's a good angle. Needs to get the edge right there and skip, and it does.
Look,
wow, gets that
settle
forward
down.
Penetration.
All right,
yep,
cool.
Inside the circle.
Looked like Kevin went with something a little less overstable than Paul. Kind of rode straighter.
This looks like a putter from Seppo.
It very well could be.
Wow.
Or just that super beat up
just
A2
mastery. That is just unbelievable shot right there.
I mean, in a calm wind, that's a really, really good shot. But on a day like this where you're stepping up there and the wind is like pushing you off the front of the tee pad. Oh.
I wish we could watch that shot again, honestly.
Seppo's?
That was just so sick, AJ. I mean, so wide and just perfect wind read.
It was great.
I want to throw like Seppo. Yep.
Kevin converts with his straddle hyzer push. I don't know.
But again, he comes back after a miss. We saw him yesterday not be phased by a dead center spit out, and he just missed the basket high and comes back and puts that one in there for birdie.
Seppo and Paul going to do the same. James gave his birdie putt a pretty good run. I think
Was he out of bounds? Was he in or out?
I hope not. I don't think so. But we're about to find out right now.
That extension. That's what's really key with Kevin's putt. So James was out of bounds with that MD4. That is just pretty crazy to even go out of bounds on that line.
Moving over to hole 4, 415 feet, par 3. Compared to last year, it's a lot shorter. Pardon me.
Yeah, good change. Really great change. Yes. It's totally attackable. There is still some danger. You know, if you hyzer out left, there's that sand trap right there. And this hill slope kind of, I mean, it gets gnarly down there to the right.
Yeah.
And you're kind of throwing from one protected pocket over this windy green and then into another protected pocket. So the wind read can be difficult. Oh, that gets a great reaction off the tree.
That was a crazy reaction.
To 5 feet. That's a great drive from Paul.
A little chilly here for Kev. It's a little chilly. He's got that jacket on. Looks nice and warm, though.
Yeah, it's an interesting place. You know, it's like 60 and sunny.
Right.
But when as soon as you're in the shade, it feels like you're cold.
Freezing, yeah.
And it's like this
and
year
look
round.
At those bushes. Holy moly. The wind is ripping at this point.
Looks like Seppo kind of didn't get all that he wanted on that one.
Yeah, you gotta commit to your shot and push it through the wind. Because if you like lay off the gas on this shot and the disc finds that hyzer angle, the wind just picks it up and just you have no chance at penetrating into the wood line and getting up there for a birdie look.
Yeah, most of the shots that I saw that were executed to get inside the circle were entering flat. They didn't hyzer in. They were going in flat and then finishing on hyzer.
Yeah.
Looks like Kevin is lining this one up. This is somewhat a dangerous run.
Yeah. That's kind of Kevin's straddle putt though, is nose down, and if he misses, it's finding the ground not long after it misses the basket. Long look from Seppo, and yeah, it's all right.
This is a tricky little putt right here. He's got to go to the straddle, and he's got like 22 feet, headwind left to right. Yeah, and just doesn't give that one enough height. Also a tricky putt, a little bit closer than Seppo's. Yep.
Yep, and there's McBeth's disc just chilling there, just waiting.
And just enough wind to make every putt interesting.
Every putt.
Every single one. Except back-to-back bag putts for Paul.
Right, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, after you miss a free throw like that, you might as well set yourself up with a couple bag putts for birdie. Birdie bag putts. McBeth, 3 down through 4. That's a really good start. That's what you want.
I agree.
Because you want a cushion going into hole 5 here. This one's a doozy. The tee shot, we're going downhill, playing into almost a headwind. More like a headwind cross right to left. And then as soon as you go all the way downhill and the hole curves from the right to the left, the headwind kind of changes into a straight crosswind.
Mm-hmm.
So this drive is difficult. The second shot can get very difficult.
We've seen some huge drives from these players on this hole, though, and I expect we're going to see some big ones. That was a little low from Paul, but he's still in a decent position.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we saw Kevin get so far down this fairway.
Unreal.
He's got that same... Is that a D2, AJ?
I believe so, yeah. And there's that
Needs to
commitment.
hold it.
Oh,
yep.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You see that late turn right
back.
there?
Oh.
Wow. Okay. And
So
see, that
close.
was a perfect read. It just, he got a little bit more of that headwind right there rather than
Just
the right
on
to
the
left.
second half of it, yeah.
And it just broke his disc over. But again, he's still in a decent position. Really, that's the miss, is to break one over to the right. Because if you hyzer left, that's when you bring that OB into play.
Yeah. James trying to get it to find the turn. It's trying to, but then once it fades out, yeah. Oh, I think he's safe.
I think so,
He's
too.
just-
Seppo gets over on this one. Wow, that's going into another hole.
Yeah, as long as those shots that turn over and get pushed down by the wind, as long as they don't roll over to the far left side of the fairway, I mean, they're okay, because now he's setting himself up with a big,
Huge.
flat to hyzer shot.
So big. This is disgusting. Is that going?
It's trying to. He's way back there. And the subtle thing he did is like he punched it low, because he's going downhill, so he doesn't need to like throw it super high, especially when he's way back there. And that was kind of crazy. But fortunate to
that was
get
really
short.
crazy. I mean, he had 150 feet left of distance on that disc, and it just got destroyed by the wind.
Yep. Turned over just a little bit, and the crosswind just pushed it all the way down.
And you see McBeth right there. He
pushed.
should have honestly restart his run up. His run up was a little messed up because of that downhill approach, and really he just kept going. He should have stopped.
I think you're right, because he put it
Totally
a little low.
misfired. He misfired big time, and it started with that footwork.
And I think Paul's shot might have ended up in the bunker. James from the far left side of the fairway, behind a couple big trees, navigates through it, and
Yeah, it's a
he's in
scary
position
gap.
for a par.
It's a scary gap
For
to hit,
real,
AJ,
yeah.
because if you hit any one of those trees, it's likely kicking down toward the OB right in front of you.
Yeah, and the trees are right in front of you too, so you don't get to advance
This
very
is a
far at all.
Beautiful approach. If that's sit,
Yep. Solid upshot for Kevin. He's in position for a par, which is pretty good on this hole.
yeah, 4 is good. It's a really, really tough par 4. Oh, no. And this approach is so tricky. You want this one close because of how windy it is, but... Oh, my goodness. Paul giving it a bid from 120 feet.
That's good, too.
Oh, no. James definitely left himself some meat. And he's got to make the decision to give this one a bid because it does slope down behind, and he doesn't want anything to do with it. Lays this one up.
Yeah, I think from back there, if he were to run that, and even if, like, so let's just say, like, he hit the putt perfectly out of his hand. It's like, oh, dead center all the way, and then the basket just disappears. He's going to be past Kevin right now.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Smart decision to lay out there.
That's a sweet putt from
That's
under
a
the tree,
great putt.
straddle, uphill, into the headwind.
Great par save. And that'll gain 0.74 strokes on the field for this round because this is the hardest hole on the course. Rightly so, because it's a wind monster. I think that's what it is.
Was that Seppo's putt for 3?
No,
It wasn't. He missed the putt.
He had that long.
Okay, he had the
that
approach. He had the
long, like,
approach. I'm
putt.
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. Yeah.
But his
Look at
drive
this.
wasn't
Straight
perfect.
across
so.
his chest. Take note on that one right there. You see how level that was across his chest? That
Just-
pull through.
Yeah, nice and flat. Yeah. And yeah, there it is. Paul McBeth, yeah, in the bunker, takes a bogey. James, short third shot, has to lay up, takes a bogey, and we're going over to hole 6. Another 600 plus foot par 4. Going to navigate through this tunnel of trees here to begin with. If you can get yourself close to that road or past it, that little cart path, that's an amazing drive.
Huge.
And then the hole kind of curves off to the right side of this fairway over the ball golf green and bunkers.
That's too tight.
Oh,
Gets
but
a
it
good
fought
reaction.
through.
And
Okay.
he could possibly be in position for a big forehand to attack for birdie.
Mm-hmm.
This looks great. Needs to hyzer out. Oh, yeah. Seppo calls it. It is fine. It's still in decent position. Got plenty of distance. And we saw Paul yesterday get so far, almost out the gap.
Yeah. He just lasered it right down there. Oh, pulls that one a little bit to the right.
And just gets right out the window that we saw Rick take during round 1.
Right. Looks like James is going to be going with the wide.
And this is
Hyzer on the
nice
right
to see. I don't
side.
think we've seen this play yet.
Yeah, we
but,
haven't,
But
no.
it is a play. I saw a lot of players choosing to attack this.
Mm-hmm. I did it all 3 rounds.
It is a little interesting off the tee, don't you think? It's like a little tight.
Yeah, it definitely takes like a few practice throws just to kind of get familiar with it and gain some trust on that gap and all those trees that are right around the tee pad.
And James was asking for that to get a little left so that he could have an angle for the Anheuser putter approach. He might be pinched off and might have to even go over the out of bounds to try and get the birdie.
It's possible, yeah. I had a similar shot, and I did have to choose which out of bounds area to go over.
And that wind just broke Kevin's D1 over. I haven't seen that one get turned over yet. That was shows you how much headwind we're really dealing with right here.
Yeah, back into the open after that tunnel. Yeah, there's a lot of headwind. And Paul, yeah, found a gap on the right side. He's in the open. And he's going Z Predator.
He's going air
Low
shot
flexor.
over the out of bounds that needs to lift.
It does.
Wow.
Oof.
What a stroke of luck right there.
He cleared it by
inches.
a couple inches, yeah.
And if that hits,
Just right.
That's an instant bogey.
Oh, yeah,
If it
at
hits out of
best.
bounds. Is James lining one up over the out of bounds as well? This is so sick to take it over all that OB. He's going to
big,
throw it
too.
in. He's
Whoa.
deep. Once again, James is deep on a hole that I haven't seen anyone go deep on
Right, yeah.
in 2.
He's just fully committing. all
He
his
really
shots.
does fully commit.
And this is great. Seppo was right.
Also,
yeah, he's got a good spot.
Over the out of bounds.
Easy hyzer right up to the green.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is the best we've seen this hole played. Got 4 players that are in position for a 3. Little tailwind putt for James.
This would be nice to get him back on track.
Stab it. Do it. Oh.
The line was right.
Paul was a little shorter than we first thought. Circle's edge into direct headwind.
No problem.
Wow. Started that one pretty high and it just didn't move. Just stayed flat. Rode that wind. It's a great putt from 30 feet into that wind, dude.
Yeah. And Seppo's going back to the stagger spin. It just rises on him barely. Ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
he coulda used
Paul
that
made
one
that
too.
headwind putt look easy, but you can see from Seppo's putt that that is not an easy putt to stick into such a stout wind.
I think it had to do a little bit with the difference in nose angles there. Because like you said, going into that headwind.
Paul's was flat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seppo's was, well, here we go. Just barely nose down. And there's that wobble. I don't know if that really makes a difference. I've seen it a few other times. I think we talked about it the other day, that just a little bit of wobble that I don't know.
It's hard to
It's
make it
noticeable, but
wobble though, you know?
Right, yes.
Like
exactly.
wobble's usually not good. You don't
No,
really want to
no.
teach the wobble,
You
but
definitely don't want to wobble on this drive.
you can't
because,
wobble. Game
again-
over if you wobble on the drive.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, we saw
Straight headwind.
some of our top players take some numbers on this hole, including Paul. Paul bogeyed this during round 1, eagle with the triple.
Yeah.
You know, it is dangerous because of how much headwind we got. And it's just so hard to get the distance that you need to attack for birdie on this one. You really need that 500 feet of power, which all 4 of these players do have.
They have it, but it's going to be extremely difficult to get 500 feet of actual distance on this hole because it plays slightly uphill into that straight headwind.
So Paul's was just a little too much hyzered out left, and he might have some trees that he's going to have to navigate.
That was great.
Kevin's held straight long enough that he's going to be in a decent position to throw a forehand approach. But again, we're playing into the wind, and it's all about the angle. It's all about the angle that comes out. See, that one was just a little too much Annie. Broke it over, but a stable enough
But
disc that he got enough distance.
And he must have put a lot of spin on that one, too.
Wow.
That thing just was low and penetrated through the wind. There's that big tree on the left side that you'll probably see when James throws. And that's kind of like the landmark. If you can get past that, staying on the left side of the cart path, you're going to have an open upshot. And that was a nice tree.
Oh, my goodness.
That was a nice tree.
James thanking the tree for the love.
For real, yeah.
Yay,
That
thank you,
helps.
tree.
Yes. Keeping my birdie chances alive right here.
Looks like he's going to have to carry the out of bounds for the second time in a row. That is such a scary shot.
Wow.
Is that in?
I believe so. It's on the good side of the walls there. And I don't think there's a bunker or anything else, so that was sneaky. Oh.
He's going to have to go through the split in those trees right there, I
Yeah.
believe.
Oh, and Seppo's trying to split the trees on the second shot. Just outside the circle for birdie.
In such a unique position. No one's putt from there all weekend for the birdie 3.
I doubt it. Yeah.
Like long right.
Again, yeah.
So hard to get there.
And here we have Kevin Jones. Circle's edge as well.
Yeah, that really affects the way that he generates the power for that putt.
Yeah.
Going down on a knee like that. Oh, no.
And Seppo was fortunate enough to find the big gap through the trees.
How many times have we seen Paul have to do something like this and execute through the gap? It's almost comical how many times he makes it.
Wow.
What?
And that was close. That was a pretty
high,
decent catch by the
right,
basket.
Sticking, last chain, drops in.
Wow.
I'm still so confused how his putts always drop.
They got a little bit of hyzer, and when you find the right side, I mean, that's just, the disc is like pointing towards the pole at that point, towards the bottom of the cage. And man, yeah, that was a close one too.
Left side action on that birdie attempt.
Paul McBeth, he's making moves after a rare bogey on hole 5.
Well, he
comes back with a
has
couple
no
birdies.
choice. He has no choice, right? I mean, this is chase card action.
This is chase card, yeah.
And he's trying to chase down.
He's chasing, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go, hole 8, 642, a lot uphill, and again, headwind. The trees on the second shot kind of block the headwind a little bit, but there's a bow tie of OB that you got to either choose to lay up in front of, go for, or just blast all the way past. But I don't think we've seen anybody really try to clear both walls.
And I don't think anyone tried.
Not with the headwind that we had all 3 days. But the play was exactly what you saw McBeth do. There's an OB wall and then a flag line of OB as well. And you got to clear that flag line and stick it in between the flag line and the second wall in order to be inbounds.
Did you go for this all 3 times?
I did. And I know I hit the drive all 3 times. I can't remember if
The
I think
drive's
the
big.
first round I might have gotten a par, but I got it the next 2 days.
It says 320, but I mean, I was avoiding this drive. I feel like it takes a good 425 feet of power into this wind uphill to guarantee that you're going to clear that OB flag.
Yeah. There's not much hiding. You can't like.
You have to connect.
You have to. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's imperative. Yeah. You have to. You have to send it. Because it's a far shot. And
and when I see players like James Conrad throwing it like full power on hyzer and just getting like 20 feet over, I'm like, I think I'll pass on that attempt.
And so that big shot through the wind sets up this uphill hyzer approach over the green, and then there's that cart path on the right side that's out of bounds, bush line on the left. Looks like Kevin got up there pretty close.
Thunderbird from James. That's a good line. Wow.
That's so impressive and fun
beautiful.
To watch those, like just those flat committed shots with that Thunderbird. He knows
OB.
Never a chance in his mind or out on the course.
And Seppo playing that hyzer to perfection.
Yeah, textbook.
Couple different ways to approach right there. James went straight at it. Seppo hyzer, and Paul also opting for the hyzer approach. Wow, making this one look easy.
Paul kind of like took
the medium.
Yeah, he
took
a page out of both books. That's the danger of running that putt, is that OB cart path right behind the basket.
And that's pretty uncommon for Kevin to miss the basket entirely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, normally he's right on it, and if he's off, it's just by a little.
Yeah, with his straddle, I guess you would call it a pitch putt almost. Straddle pitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's very linear along that.
It is. It's like a height thing. He has to get that height right, and he really wanted that one, and maybe overcommitted just a little bit,
just barely.
Boom. Leaning into that hyzer.
Kevin loses a couple to the rest of the card there.
Yeah, that hurts to be putting for a 3 and walk away with a 5.
But He's got
Eagles
He's got
on
a
his
couple
mind.
opportunities. Yeah, hole 9, par 4, 747 feet. Now that all sounds great, but then you realize, oh, you're dropping an instant 30 feet, and then it just keeps dropping and dropping and dropping all the way
At
to the
least
basket.
it might even be more than that instantly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty substantial downhill toss, and you're going into the tailwind. These players are once again 747 feet, and they're thinking nothing but circle 1.
All they got to do is hit the gap off the tee, and then try to get a hyzer flip. I think that's the optimal play. And McBeth with a solid rip, a little bit outside circle too.
Yeah, he probably wanted that one to stay a little flatter, a little straighter for longer.
Yeah. Let's see if Seppo can get it nice and low. A little bit of flip, ride that wind. Oh, called it.
Turn.
Oh,
Just doesn't
barely.
quite break over.
man, if it gets a straight skip, he'll have a long look. Almost. And James went eagle. Spoiler alert, kinda, not really, because it was the
round
round
2.
before. But he went eagle on 9 and 10 yesterday. And man, he commits to that low flex line. Is that stable enough to hook up? I don't know.
I don't know.
Guess we'll
either.
find
I
out
couldn't
next
tell with
week
that
on
one.
Par Save Productions. Nah, we'll find out in like a minute. It's all good. Kevin
Whoa, Kevin gets this one high.
he like kind of did the hustle there, trying to get it to turn over. I don't know if he saw that. Like, do a hustle.
It's a pretty good pump. He's outside circle 2, though. He's going to have maybe 80 feet left.
And so James just hit that guardian tree on the right side of the fairway. And the disc was on the ground, so I'm guessing that it just hit and fell to the ground.
Yeah,
So
he
no
was
2
asking.
meter
Yeah,
penalty.
exactly. He was asking for that one to get down because it's a stroke if it's above the 2 meters.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very often that we have that rule in play.
No, not often.
Seems to be just a Cali thing.
And a couple of long eagle looks from these guys, and they're taking the easy birdie.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wowzers. That's 75-footer. Huge.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
He
I
loves
just wasn't
it.
even expecting a run, really. It's Kevin Jones for you guys.
Yeah.
Wow.
That straddle pitch from 75. I mean, well, had a bit more push than pitch.
Yeah, the
Tell you what,
the
though.
naming just gets so difficult. I mean, he
Pitch
does. Oh, it's so
Oh,
good!
look at
Wow,
that.
that is a great hit. Refuses to be big putted.
Yeah, for real. That was. He had a tester to save himself from the big putt. Seppo kind of did too. I mean, I don't know. After that drive, you don't want anything more than a drop in.
Yeah.
Once you just bomb it out there, 650 down the hill. But is this a superstar frame?
Boom.
Look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, all smiles. Loves
Nice.
it.
There you go, Kev.
What a sick eagle.
It's a sweet bounce back too.
So the card goes 5 down on hole 9.
Yeah. And once again, McBeth 6 down on the front 9. With a bogey this time.
With a bogey.
Jeez.
Only 1 par on hole 2.
He's just pulling away from the rest of this chase card.
Man, this is such a high level of play here at the San Francisco Open.
Yeah. He's got a strong game plan, and he's executing. Not really sure what the lead card's doing. If you want to find out, go over to Central Coast Disc Golf and check that out. And check us out on the back 9.
Yeah, we got a lot of action left for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
See ya.